Hello, everyone. Says that I'm live here on the Teenage Tavern and on the Soul Shifters Guild Facebook group. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I don't know the time. I was looking at the clock and then the time just was 2 minutes after noon. But I'm happy to be with you today. Sorry, I missed you Thursday. I've been really sick for about 10 days with a cold. And I'm starting to feel back to myself. But last Thursday, I had lost my voice, and so I wasn't able to go on. But I'm feeling a lot better today. Excuse me if I cough during the broadcast because I'm still not 100% back, and I'm still struggling with like chest congestion a little bit. But I'm still excited to be here today to talk about the Minimize to Maximize 7-week reset. And this week, we're already in week 4. So we're more than halfway through. And, or I guess this is halfway through, right? And then today's topic is media. And so what do we mean by media? We'll be talking about what we're talking about with media. It's not just social media, but more like I feel like it's more like electronics or use of electronic devices, because in our technology age, the more and more technology advances, the more time it usurps from us. And some of that is really productive and some of it's really unproductive. Some of it can affect our relationships. And so part of the challenge this week is not just to try to reduce our use of technology, but how does that then affect our relationships with people when we're spending all our time with technology? Of course, can make a lot of connections to real people over social media, but how many people in our family, in our immediate area, are in-person people that we shut out to spend more time with people that aren't even in our immediate vicinity? So it's kind of a blessing and a curse type thing. So this week what we're doing is, first of all, for people that haven't joined this before, let me say welcome. What this is a series of challenges over 7 weeks, and it's based on 2 books. The first one, my screen is backwards. So the first one is a book called 7, An Experimental Mutiny Against Excess by Jen Hatmaker. And the other one is Declutter Your Mind, How to Stop Worrying, Relieve Anxiety, and Eliminate Negative Thinking by S.J. Scott and Barry Davenport. And so in this book 7, the author writes it sort of like a diary over the course of 7 months, where each month is dedicated to cutting back on a certain type of excess in her life. And so we're kind of mirroring her journey, but instead of over 7 months, we're doing it in 7 weeks. And then I thought this would be a good addition. So this book is in 4 parts, and I've matched up those 4 parts with 4 of the chapters in this book. So this week, we're in Declutter Your Mind, part 3, which is declutter your relationships. And in this book, we're in chapter 4, which is media. So week 1, we did food. Week 2, clothing. Week 3, possessions. And now week 4 is media. So why do we want to do this reset? To minimize to maximize? It's to make room for other things in your life that you want to prioritize, like maybe your spirituality, maybe relationships with people, to kind of dig in deep to find out where your resistance is and eliminating some of the excess in your life, and maybe making some inroads into understanding yourself better. Let's go back to week 3 real briefly. Possessions. We had to eliminate 7 items every day from our possessions. So I'm choosing to give away my 49 items. And I told you I'd publish a list of those, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So I'll do that later today. But But I'm curious how that went for you guys. Was it hard to pick 49 items? Um, my takeaways was I have too much stuff. I have too much to do, and I have a lot of resistance around parting with certain items that are not needs, but are more like, sentimental items, things that have meaning to me or things that I might need. And I do not consider myself in any way a hoarder. It doesn't bother me to, get rid of a bunch of stuff. But the point of this exercise is not to purge a bunch of things and then buy things to replace those things, right? Because that would be counterproductive. So I don't want to get rid of something that I'm just going to have to buy again, because I'm going to need it. So for me, I feel like it highlighted that I need a lot of stuff. And why do I need so much stuff? I'm not sure. But that's something for me to work further on. I'm curious on how what you found from going through that exercise. This week, we're going to do cutting back on media. I'm going to show this banner here. So what does media include? It can include social media, certainly apps on your phone, or your phone itself. Like if you're always just talking endlessly on the phone, that's definitely not me. I don't like talking on the phone too much. But I'm always on my phone, on Facebook or just a lot of various apps that I use. You might play a lot of games, you might watch TV, you might spend a lot of time with music and the radio or just texting people. So really this should be tailored to you, whatever's the most time suck for you. Whatever you find yourself, like in a lot of cases, you got to be on your phone texting as part of your work. Well, we probably don't want to eliminate that then if that's something, but think about the things that are not really being productive for you or that are actually creating barriers for you getting things done, creating barriers for you for interacting with people that you love. So those are the types of things I'm saying just take a 1-week sabbatical from. And I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book. Let's see, page 171. Now, let's see if you can relate to this. So Jen Hatmaker says that there was a New York Times article about your brain on computers, and that there's been some scientific studies that say juggling email and the phone calls and other incoming information can change how people think and behave and affects our ability to focus. Do you ever have trouble focusing and you just feel like you're pulled in a lot of different directions, or you don't have that much of a concentration span, like you get bored really easily? That's what this is talking about, that people with the absence of these things that are causing this little squirt of dopamine every time we're, scrolling, finding something new, can actually not only just make you feel bored, but have other consequences like distracting you and causing accidents and causing you to be distracted from safety measures and things like that. So that is a good reason to be careful with this kind of thing. There was another excerpt I wanted to read. All right. So if you feel like you're going to have trouble giving anything up, I'll just show you what my selections are to give you an example of some of the things that might be distracting you. These are what distracts me. And I find myself spending a lot of time on, wasting time on, is Facebook Messenger, Udemy, Shift Network, TikTok, online news. Believe it or not, I never used to be a news person, but with my job, I have to monitor the news for risk management. So, but I don't just do it for that. I just start clicking on random news articles and things about cute bears and murder mysteries and that kind of thing. So I get really distracted with the news, and I'll spend way too much time on that. And then, of course, TV, that's something easy to numb out your mind at night with, is the TV before you go to bed. But those are things I'm going to give up for this week. And when Jen was implementing this, only for her, it was a month, right? And her whole family were doing this. And she has in quotes, this month is going to be terrible. What are we going to do? I don't even like to read. What else is there? I think some TV would be fine. No texting. All my friends text me. You're going to have your nose in a book while I'm bored with nothing to do. How many weeks? 4? And that was just her husband. So imagine how hard it would be for the kids that, maybe like my daughter, iPad's her life, and she FaceTimes her friends and is constantly in there looking at videos. So I think it would be really hard for her to give that up for a week. But it's important to understand what is distracting us from living our life and being present. So how much time do you think you spend on media type stuff? TV, news, Facebook, gaming, whatever it is that you do. How much time over the course of a week do you think you spend doing that? And what is that keeping? What is the cost of that in terms of time from doing other stuff? What would you be doing if you weren't doing that? And I think that's the key, really, is what are you going to replace that with for a week? Are you just going to sit around and be bored? No, I hope not. I hope that you really are thoughtful about what types of things you're going to replace that with. And then let me know in the comments, like, what types of activities are you choosing to do instead? Are you going to go for more walks in nature? Are you going to talk to people in person more? And then how did it make you feel? Did you feel disconnected? Did you make you feel lonely, or did you feel more connected? Like maybe you're more connected with the people in person around you and more connected with nature. So what are some better ways that you can spend your time? And what have you been using media for? Is it mainly for entertainment, for work, or just have you been using it to numb yourself? Because we tend to use it almost like an anesthetic sometimes to get away from stress. And are there better ways to do that? Like maybe exercise or something a little bit healthier. So anyway, part 2 of this week's challenge is from the Declutter Your Mind book. And oops, my marker fell out, but I found the page. He talks about the negative impact of bad relationships. And so I have a little excerpt here from that. Your children drive you crazy. Your parents are too needy. Your boss is a jerk. Your spouse doesn't understand you. Your best friend never calls. How often do you feel irritated and frustrated or even furious with the people in your life? And the answer to this question is important because relationship problems are a leading cause of unhappiness that people feel in life. And how many times do we expect the other person to change, or we're even making up false narratives in our own minds about their intentions or what they're doing? You're just making a lot of assumptions, or you're seeing things from one perspective. So I remember seeing this thing. I'm trying to look for something I can draw, and I have an envelope here. And you're looking at this number. It's number 6, right? But the person standing on the other side is seeing this, a number 9. So some things are just perspective, and you may be only seeing things from one perspective and need to shift your perspective a little bit. So the key to this is focusing on high quality relationships being able to prioritize your relationships with people and then taking steps on your end, not expecting them to change, but expecting yourself to step up, to impact the relationship to be better. And there are a few things that he suggests in that. I'll display a little banner for that. One is to be more present in the relationship, such as, you know, better listening, um, being more mindful when you speak. So, not just saying things that are hurtful, and acting kindly. I mean, he has a lot more advice in the book. Number two, get unstuck from the past. So, live in the present and be able to let things go from the past, find forgiveness, that kind of thing. Um, or talk it out, work it out so that you can put that to rest. And then number three, mindfulness and communication with your partner. And four, let go of toxic people. So there's some relationships where people are just going to try to hurt you and it makes themselves feel good or better. And maybe that's why they keep you around, is because they have this kind of punching bag, whether it's, you know, physical or just verbal or mental type things, where they're not respecting you as a person, respecting your part in the relationship. So sometimes we just need to let those people be part of our past and keep around us the people that are part of those high quality relationships. I know those are tougher decisions to make. But part of this challenge is thinking about how can we reduce, you know, the stress and anxiety and that kind of thing in our life. But before you do that, think about how much of that is toxicity, is something that you're co-creating with them or perpetuating or projecting onto that person, and how much of that do you own versus what you think they should own. And if every single person in your life is toxic and you're blaming someone else for everything, then maybe that needs more analysis before just, you know, being a loner. Because we do need other people and we do need positive relationships. That's, people are made to live in a society with other people. And so just cutting yourself off from everyone isn't the answer. So our challenge for this week is identify which relationships you want to prioritize. So probably people close to you, and list out 7 ways you can increase the quality of those relationships. So this exercise isn't to like get rid of people in your life or anything like that. It's to focus more on the relationships that you want to make the most high quality, and then identify 7 ways that you can do that. And of course, it's going to take a lot more than 7 days to accomplish, you know, the things on your list. But it's a starting point. So what you're doing is getting a starting point um, for having more mindful, meaningful relationships with the people with you. And so let me give you an example of something. Now, I haven't made my list yet, but one of the things that I will put on my list is, for instance, keeping eye contact with people when they're speaking to you. So, for instance, my child's in here telling me about her day. I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm not going to be, you know, reading my book or whatever. I'm going to drop everything and listen to her. And that will help for me to listen better, for me to be able to be present, to be able to respond intelligently, and to show her that I'm listening and that I care. And so don't you think that will increase the relationship more than, you know, just me going, okay, glad, I'll talk to you in a few minutes, you know, that kind of thing. Not just dismissing people, but being more present and mindful with them. So that's a little example. Excuse me, I have all this congestion. Now, I have been drinking some tea, some mullein, ginger, and oh my gosh, I can't think. My head's so fuzzy from this cold. Some other respiratory herbs. I can't think, that won't come to mind right now. I'm sure I'll think of them right after this is done. And that helps while I'm drinking it, but then this is just something even worse. And I did take a COVID test, and it came back negative. I don't know. It feels a lot like COVID, though. It could just be strep or something, because I started out with a really sore throat. But anywho, I feel like I'm on the road to recovery, and probably in a couple of days I'll be fine. So I hope that you have a chance to do the challenge this week and leave me some comments about what 7 media items that you're taking a break from, and how you found this challenge this week, and the one from the previous week as well. So I'm wishing you lots of love and light, and hopefully I will be good for the Thursday thing, which is, we have a second Thursday. Hold on, let me look. So, first Thursday was the, the Alchemy Circle, the readings. The second Thursday's herbalism. So hopefully I'll be good for the herbalism this Thursday. And I'm supposed to be going over what I have scheduled for that. Oh, that's January. Hold on, February. Herbs for heart and circulatory system. I should do the respiratory. But I'll be prepared for that one. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and I will talk to you next time. Much love and light. Bye.